Hey guys, Chief Zero here. Thank you so much for tuning in to my next top 5 Gen 1 Pokemon. Today we're actually going to be doing another mix of two types simply because there's just not enough of the Pokemon to go around. And that's going to be our Ghost slash Poison type Pokemon. As you guys know, there's only 3 types of Ghost type Pokemon in this game, in this generation, so it kind of makes sense, right? And they just so happen to also be poison, so if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot to grow and everything. If you haven't already, like my other videos. I have other top 5 Gen 1 Pokemons types that you can totally check out if you want. I don't know if you feel like it, you know. But I think it'd be really cool if you do, and if it'd be even cooler if you shared it with your other Pokemon friends. I think it would be really cool. And with that, let's begin. Alright, so coming up at number 5 to start off this list is Nidoran, the male version. Why the male version, you might be wondering, and not the female one? To be honest, I just kind of simply like the design a little bit better. For some reason, the whole purple works a lot better than kind of bluish, you know? Especially for a poison type. Nidoran, male Nidoran is, I'm just going to refer to him as Nidoran now, you already know which one I'm talking about. Nidoran to me is just kind of a cool Pokemon. Like, I can kind of see it having it as a pet, but at the same time I'd be like scared for my life because I don't want to die of like accidental poisoning. But I think it's really cool nonetheless, and of course its later evolutions into Nidoking makes it even cooler to me because he just looks so awesome. Nidoran also kind of works with that little nice cuteness that you can work with. However, when you first meet him in like the next route by Viridian City, it just kind of a really handy Pokemon. You can either catch like either the male or female Nidoran, a Pidgey, Rattata, or even a Mankey in some cases. But I always went for the male Nidoran because he just looks cooler, and because he can also learn double kick like pretty early on, that I would definitely always use him against Brock in the first gym battle, because that's the only like fighting type move that you can really get unless you actually get the Mankey or something. But besides that though, like Nidoran, I just kind of have a fondness for him. He's just kind of always been there for me also. So I'd always make sure to carry him around with me into Nidoking because he's just so powerful and just really cool. So the design is there, the moveset's there, the convenience is also there, so why not? Nidoran, you're at number 5 there, buddy. Thank you so much. Alright, so coming up at number 4 is going to be Vileplume. Vileplume, it's a really pretty Pokemon, I think, in my opinion. It has a very well designed look about it that also kind of makes sense with the world in the real world plus the Pokemon world. And I think it's actually based off of a real plant as well, which is actually kind of scary when you think about it, because Vileplume is very well known to be extremely poisonous that could potentially kill you and knock you out, so that's kind of scary. But nonetheless, Vileplume is a very cool Pokemon to me. Battling it against with Erica at the gym battle in Celadon City was kind of nerve-wracking at first because I didn't necessarily know if I was going to survive it or not, to be honest. Even though I always carried a Charmeleon slash Charizard into that battle, I wasn't always 1000% sure that I was going to win it, mainly because it was Vileplume. It doesn't have the best kinds of stats, but it has the moveset to keep poisoning you, put you to sleep, or even paralyze you, which was kind of worse than just being beaten straight off, because Vileplume will play with your feelings and then murder you with them. So that's why Vileplume is number 4, because it's still kind of terrifying in some way, and just because, yeah, I would not want to hug it, I would not want to do anything with it that could potentially poison me. So Vileplume, you're kind of scary. Bye. Alright, so coming up at number 3 is going to be Gengar. Gengar is a terrifyingly strong Pokemon in terms of speed and special attack. It's one of those notorious Pokemon besides Alakazam that can instantly sweep an entire team because of how strong it is. fortunately slash kind of unfortunately, if you're like me, you can only get it by trading a Haunter with someone else, and then hopefully getting it back with none of that your friend running off with your newly acquired Gengar. Gengar has an awesome lore slash kind of theory behind him that because he's known as the Shadow type Pokemon, that he actually is the shadow of Clefable, which I think is super legit. I would not be surprised if that was actually the entire case. I don't think it's actually been like 100% confirmed or anything, but I feel like it's real. It's way too on the nose for it to not be real. And just looking at a side-by-side comparison of them, it makes sense. So I really hope that is what it is. And Gengar is terrifying, and that's why he's at number 3. I debated whether or not putting him on a higher list on this, but because of some of the things that I mentioned early on, it's the reason also why he's only at number 3. And with that, Gengar, I love you, Gengar. You're gonna haunt my dreams though, and eat them. So that's why you're at number 3. I'm trying to keep you a slide away, like in a little bit of a distance between you and I. So sorry, bud. All right, and coming up at number 2 is going to be Muck. Muck, if you remember from the anime, he's a very loving Pokemon. He's a little cuddle monster that just wants to swallow you whole inside of its body and hopefully not disintegrate you with its poisonous body. But anyways, Muck is my number 2 because overall he's kind of a really cool Pokemon. He has a lot of good bulk to make him survive. He's a poison type, which is kind of interesting to me because poison types, at least this early on in the generations, are not typically known to be completely strong in the sense, but to whittle away your opponents, and which makes sense to me when dealing with poison types. So with that, Muck is number 2 because of that. The design is also really cool. My fondness and nostalgia for him from the anime also plays a little bit of a factor into that, because I will always think of Muck as a cuddle monster, like a little puppy that wants to cuddle you all the time, which is really cool because you don't see a lot of Pokemon like that in the world. That gives it a little bit more character that isn't all about fighting each other or some tragic story or something. Even though it's completely made out of pollution and stuff that we've made, Muck is still an interesting Pokemon to me. And not only can he take the hits for you, but he can probably also dish them out for you as well if you need him to. So with that, you're number 2, Muck. Alright, coming up at number 1, our final Pokemon for our mix of ghost slash poison types is going to be none other than Haunter. Haunter, again, it's one of those Pokemon that I feel like normally nobody would put on as their number 1, but for me, he's my number 1 simply because I've spent the most time with Haunter. When I'm out collecting Pokemon, when I've tried to get my own Gengar, I never had anybody really to trade with back then. So in my hopes for trying to eventually get a Gengar, I always carried around my Haunter, and I loved Haunter. Even without evolving it into a Gengar, he was still really good. He still has a really high speed and high special, so he can knock down opponents. Hypnosis is also super convenient when you need to. In later gens, he becomes a really great Pokemon to use to capture roaming Pokemon. Gengar to me is just a really awesome Pokemon that he doesn't need the evolution if you don't want it to. It's just, I feel like it's just a bonus. But Haunter is totally fine the way he is. He also, in my opinion, has the better design out of the ghost types. He looks better than Gengar in my opinion, because even though Gengar is kind of like the shadow Pokemon and stuff, Haunter actually looks like a ghost type, one that could potentially haunt you, because it has floating hands, it has little sharp teeth everywhere. Its design is just slightly menacing, but the anime also made him look very fun. I guess I would say fun for a ghost. Haunter is kind of a jokey Pokemon from the anime, and I really appreciated that because it was introduced in a relatively scary episode where Ash actually died, and so did Pikachu, and joined Haunter, Ghastly, and Gengar to like have fun and fool around and stuff. But it was also because of Haunter and Gengar that they actually brought them back to life. They put their ghosts back into the bodies of Ash and Pikachu. It was really cool, bro. He didn't have to do that, but he just brought you back to life. And then not only that, but Haunter actually momentarily joined Ash to fight Sabrina so that Ash could get his Marsh badge, which I thought was super cool. I really wish Ash had actually captured Haunter and used him in his team and stuff, but alas, it wasn't meant to be. But that's why I also carry Haunter everywhere I go, because he's just like that buddy that I wish would travel with me, so that he can also keep the other ghosts away, because I would not be okay with that. I would not be okay surrounded by ghosts all the time. But Haunter, yes. And that's why you're my #1 Haunter. Thank you so much again for watching, guys. If you like this video, please like it, share it with your Pokemon friends, and if you haven't already subscribed, it would help my channel grow a lot. And if you love all my Pokemon videos, please let me know. It's a great morale booster for me, and I appreciate it so much. If you have a different list of Pokemon, please let me know down in the comments. I read them all the time when you guys let me know about them, and it's kind of interesting to know what you guys think yours are and what you guys think of my list, so it's really cool. You can also follow me on the social media. It's all down here below on the bottom of the screen, as well as in the description. And if you want to check out my other top 5 lists, I have them all over here, guys. We're so close to finishing Gen 1. I'm super pumped about it, and I can't wait to start off with the Generation 2 Pokemon, because I already have like a ton of ideas for it, so I'm super excited about it. Thank you again for watching, guys. Chief out.